And now we're going to swing over to San Francisco in the States. We're joined by Mr. Scott Bennett, former U.S. Army Psychological Warfare Officer. Hello, Mr. Bennett, and good to have you on the program, sir. You know, why do you think that some forces in the U.S. government have persevered for so long to keep this document from going public?
Well, I think they've hidden it for so long because they know that politicians, banks, the president, Bush presidency, the Bush administration, Colin Powell, David Petraeus, the military, a whole net of fish are going to be caught up in this, and they're going to be exposed for corruption and incompetence or treason. There are a lot of people that should go to jail over this. There are some people who've been employed by the government as politicians that should be charged with treason because of this. This is very late. It's very, very sad that it took this long. It's disgusting that there are no American politicians that have any character to have risen up earlier and read this. But sadly, that's the sign of American degeneracy in its political class. But this will simply point to larger conspiracies, larger actions of treachery and treason. Yes, of course, it will point to Saudi Arabia. It will point to banks like Union Bank of Switzerland and HSBC. It'll point to the Clinton Foundation as one of the many instruments for money laundering and terrorist financing. It'll point to Eric Holder and Lanny Brewer and Covington and Burling. It'll point to British participation. And we're probably going to see a lot more uproar in the United States as an attempt to cover this up. You may have a lot more attacks like you just mentioned in France. I think you're going to have a lot of false flag psychological warfare activities to try and keep people's attention off of this. But when this comes out, we have to be very, very careful to make sure nothing's been erased, nothing's been tampered with, but we see the raw data and not one single word or sentence has been changed or altered. And then we can overlay what we've learned 15 years later. And we can overlay and see exactly where the money's led, who's been paid, and how far this is stretched out from 9/11 to now. And we'll see the roadmap in blood through Libya, through Syria.
And you know, recently, Mr. Bennett, we've heard, you know, certain people, there's some questions about this document, in my view. I mean, we've heard others, certain people that are privy to its content say there's nothing in it which implicates the Saudis, but we've heard the exact opposite from others high up in the government who've also viewed its pages. Could it be possible that the original document may have been altered to salvage ties with Riyadh?
Yeah, I think the original document could have been altered greatly. I know for a fact that the Saudis are implicated. I know for a fact that the Clinton administration is implicated because I've seen the WikiLeaks cables and I've seen the materials that were declassified by Julian Assange, and all of those materials point to the United States State Department and Saudi Arabia, as well as Israel, playing key roles in a lot of the financial maneuvers that were going on. There's also political corruption. This can serve as a trigger for a major revolution in America because people will see that the entire 9/11 event was known ahead of time. It was contrived, and we've done nothing but lead people astray on a Middle East crusade and fighting against boogeymen ever since. So this will serve not necessarily in exposing, you know, the bloodshed in the story. It will simply point us in directions that we need to ask and investigate next. This is a compass to point to who knew what, when they knew it, and what they did about it. Susan Lindauer, for example, a CIA asset, came to the Bush administration and told them originally that Saddam Hussein and Iraq had nothing to do with 9/11. She was put in prison. Other whistleblowers like Brad Birkenfeld, a Swiss banker who brought over terrorist financing accounts, he was put in prison. So all of those bad actions that were done to Americans are going to be exposed in these papers because you're going to see people like Abdulaziz, you're going to see the Saudi Arabian royal family, you're going to see Wahhabi charities and schools at Georgetown, in Alexandria, a lot of the religious schools that Saudi Arabia sets up. You're going to see the connections to those institutions to people in the United States government. You're going to see them contained in the emails that Hillary Clinton later tried to cover up in 2008 to 2009. So you're going to see a lot of intelligence come up that a lot of people with experience can provide context to and help explain this better. And Press TV is one of the best instruments for truth on this planet, because only Press TV really has the best people who are honest and truthful and intelligent from America, really explaining all of this, who also have good hearts that want peace and stability in the world, not endless war. So this is a good day for peace, and I think it'll only get better.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Scott Bennett. Report is shortly to be released. It's either going to answer a bunch of questions or leave a bunch of questions unanswered. I guess we'll be seeing soon. But thank you, Mr. Scott Bennett, joining us out of San Francisco, former U.S. Army Psychological Warfare Officer.